good evening, iRacing fans. RaceSpotTV here. It's Rachel Connery, as always, on Monday Night Skippies. We are here at, and let me get this out because it's a new name. We have to call this track WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I think I got it right this time, Connery.
Yeah, exactly. It's a new name for, well, what is the same old track of Laguna Seca. Nothing has changed except for the name, but here we are. This is going to be the Monday Night Skippies tackling one of the free tracks on the service, so we have quite a few drivers out there on circuit. 46 have put in qualifying times. I hazard to guess upwards of 50 are going to be actually taking part in the race.
Yes, they absolutely are. And well, right now, Fahim Antonida sitting pretty on the pole. Qualifying not in the books yet, but it seems that going to Thrustmaster Movano has done wonders for Fahim's driving, shall we say, aggression and willingness to win.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like another pole position for him coming up, but there are a couple of drivers out there on circuit, but I don't think there are any on a lap right now, or at least on a lap to be able to that is able to challenge Fahim Antonides. But currently on that provisional front row, you've also got your defending champion of Bill Fraser, so there's going to be an interesting dynamic between those two, between Antonides and Fraser. And you've also got Jack Hobbs, P number 4. That's a driver we've been keeping an eye on this season because of how far he's jumped up the field since a couple of seasons ago.
He certainly has, and well, Jack Hobbs improving dramatically. Likes of Edwards and Adcock, interesting additions up there to the top 10. As we'll keep our eyes on how and well this one goes. But biggest shock here is Benny Simonson back in 16th place. Almost 2 seconds back from your leader. Clearly hasn't had a chance to get a lap in.
Yeah, exactly, and it doesn't look like he is going to get a lap in, it looks like, and, well, it looked like that he set his bank a lap at 136 flat, and then on his next couple of flying laps, it just really didn't happen for him, just got those laps invalid. So it looks like with 10 seconds left, no one's going to head their way across the line to complete a lap, so this is probably what the grid is going to look like.
It certainly is, and we normally talk about our 1 second bracket for how difficult a track is. This one is 10th place. 134.627 to a 134.636. 10th place, Chris Malcolm. Only 10 cars within a second of each other. And with open qualifying, meaning that track has not been very clear for these drivers. That's why I think some of these guys have had some trouble. But we are going to have a run through your starting grid. On the pole tonight, 134.627 for Fahim Antonides there with Bill Fraser in second place, Mick Watson, Jack Hobbs, Stuart Adcock, Simon Edwards, Clark Williams, Ben Daniels, George Lambert, and as mentioned, Chris Malcolm in 10th place. Ryan the Torpedo Hewitt, 11th place with Adam Terry, Matt Cox, Anthony Katz, Gary Tall, Benny Simonson, dramatically out of place in 16th, that should make things interesting. Tim Adcock, Robert Plumley, James Child, Paul Roll in 20th. That's those positions up on your screen, and we'll get ready to go for this one tonight. Connery, this track is a fan favourite. It's a driver favourite. It's Laguna Seca. We all love it, no matter what the name is.
Yep, we do, and as I said at the top of the show, iRacing offer it as one of the free tracks you get for the standard membership here on iRacing, so all of the drivers will be very, very well acquainted with what this track has to offer.
Absolutely will be, and as we get ready now to start the engines here and get going for this round. Bill Fraser, second place, great qualifying from him. Defending champion, winner last time out by a huge margin at Circuit of the Americas, by 8-9 seconds. Never seen a Scotsman go that fast unless Greg's had just opened a new store, but we digress. Up front, it's Antonides on the inside there for the run down to the Mario Andretti corners. Right down there at the bottom. And this will be an interesting first run. Short run here downhill, Connery, over this little crest where the start-finish line is. Down into a double apex left, and then round the sweeping internal section here of the racetrack. So, looking forward to a good start in just a few seconds. We should hear those engines revving up now. Getting ready to go, as here they come. Like a buzz of bees and a roar of engines, but we'll give them credit for that as the green flag waves. Everyone diving for the inside line, shortest way around, a little bit shallower actually in line. Everyone immediately piling into that first sequence of corners. Into the big braking zone. Fraser goes wide here for an attempt on Antonides early on. Everyone gets through with no real problems. The back of the field, 3 wide back there. in about the 20th place. Everyone's shuffling back on track. A couple of cars running wide, but everyone's still in one piece here, Connery. No one had any moments yet, but up front it's getting a bit hectic.
Yep, no one off, or at least what I can see right now is the cars of Georgia Lambert and was Anthony Catt, the number 19, just filing their way through. Lambert's dropping down the field like a stone, almost 3 wide up in towards turn number 5 now, as Lambert has to try and wrestle that inside line away from Hewitt, but Hewitt is going to have the momentum. Here we go, 3 wide up towards the kink. This is not usually a good idea. Let's see how it turns out coming through the fast left-hander. Careful of that curb on the inside as well. It can send you into a bit of a barrel roll sometimes. There's 3 wide again. Matt Cox in the middle.
It is indeed Matt Cox there, just in front of them actually, with Adam Terry, Anthony Catt, Gary Tall there, as they bunch up. Oh, contact into the big contact there into the top of the. Oh my gosh, the corkscrew there, as that 3 wide went the way we thought it would go, and 8.66 of Matt Cox takes a tap there from the car in front. Tim Adcock goes sideways off the track. That's the 2 of them off there and round. Everyone else filters past. One car dives off the track to avoid them, somehow tries to reverse back on in front of a pack, which is not usually advisable. Back down to the sharp end. Antonides leading from Fraser. Fraser got a big run on him though here. Fraser dogging your leader already. You'd love to get a chance here to tackle the big boys at the front and take on Fahim. Go for another win this time out. Buoyed up by a great result last time, of course, as they all pile through that first sequence yet again. 14 laps here today, Connery. Good number of laps we have in this race, as Simonson already up 4 spots from where he started. Yep, his qualifying was very stunted. He's already passed Hewitt. That's 11th place as well. He's going to be in that top 10 in no time at all.
Yeah, exactly, especially if this trend continues. He's got a little bit of clear air to run in now before he catches the next group of 3 cars. That's Chris Morris actually losing out 2 positions there in that number 25 car on the run up towards turn number 5. But here comes Anthony Catt and Chris Malcolm potentially side by side into the kink, but no, they get themselves sorted out before that happens. You don't want to be going 2 or even 3 wide through there. It just does not work. And even if you do manage it, you've just lost so much time.
You absolutely have, and well, they're pushing as hard as they can at the moment up front, things being nice and stable. Antonides has been chased down by Fraser, Mick Watson, Jack Hobbs, Stuart Adcock in that front group. Edwards dropped a little bit back from there with Clark Williams behind them. Good gap to, or behind Ben Daniels, I should say, to Chris Malcolm there with Anthony Catt, Ryan Hewitt, Benny Simonson. Although Simonson catching up very quickly to Mr. Catt, just ahead of him. Good to see him take that position in short order. Simonson definitely hobbled there in qualifying, didn't get a lap in as he wanted to, and having to make up for it on the racetrack. Moves to the outside there of Catt. He'll have the line into the first corner if he has enough overlap, but he does. Wow, Catt just backs out there on the brakes and lets him go through. Simonson flying through traffic here as he tries to gain back up to where he believes he should be running, and based on his speed, it's likely. Bill Fraser, though, second place right behind your leader. Antonides there, the Thrustmaster Movano driver, their latest addition, as both run very wide there, coming out of turn 4. Actually, that's turn 5, actually, Connery. Very, very wide indeed, and up they come the hill now. Actually, quite a hard left-hander there, climbing up now towards the fastest corner on the track. This left-hander over the crest. Got to keep an eye out on that red sausage curb, though. You catch the inside of that corner too much. It's all problems for Antonides. Runs wide onto the gravel, loses a lot of speed, but can he block Fraser? Fraser gets up the inside. Gonna go for a dive on the brakes. Will he try it? No, he backs out very sensibly. Big recovery there by Fahim.
Yeah, but this isn't done yet. Bill Fraser has the momentum off of the corkscrew down the hill. This sequence of corners is like a roller coaster now, as you just completely a passenger coming down through here into the on-cambered right-hander here, so you can take that more aggressively than you would perhaps a normal 90-degree right-hander, as down onto the heavy onto the brakes now in towards the final corner. This pack is quite big for the race lead right now. 7 cars long. Anyone in these 7 could take the race win at this stage with going on to lap number 4 and Fraser going for the lead.
He certainly is, could indeed, of course. There's huge recovery there. I watched out the replay, Connery, but it looks as though Fahim didn't even lift when he was on the dirt. There was round the outside. Looks Fraser not going to have the line to do it. It's not a good corner to pass on the outside for, as he chops the nose of Mick Watson off there, but I don't think Fahim backed out of the gas when he got on the dirt there. He kept his wheel straight. He was soaring a little bit, but he kept his foot in there, and when many cars would have lost the back end and spun out, he just kept it in.
Yeah, exactly. He knew he couldn't really risk losing that position to Bill Fraser at this stage. But the thing is, you've got the likes of Mick Watson, Hobbs, Adcock, Edwards, Clark Williams all behind this one. So, and all of those names we can see in and around the top 3 on very, very many occasions. But lap number 4, you know, say maybe a little bit too early to be making these risky moves as a couple of them push wider yet again into the dirt on the exit of the kink. That's not too much of an issue as long as you don't do it like Mantinitis did it last lap. But up into the corkscrew now, and still single file. So they're being a little bit tentative, but being a little bit patient here.
That is indeed the case as they race now through the track. As looking up for Simonson, he is working his way forwards now, trying to get closer here to the car there of
Here goes Fraser.
Anthony Cat. Fraser does go for it again.
Yeah, that was close there coming into the final corner, but the thing is, as a result, Fraser has lost all sorts of momentum off that final corner, allows the 666 of Mick Watson to go potentially around the outside on the brakes in towards 1 here, and let's see if he manages to be able to do this. It's quite difficult around this double apex left, and Mick Watson now is going to have to be fighting with Jack Hobbs because he slipped his way down towards the inside, coming through turn number 3 now, and Hobbs still looking for that outside, but he can dive down towards the inside now for the next turn, but decides against it, and as a result this front pair has started to get away from the rest of the leading pack as Hobbs will go to the inside of Watson.
Let's have a look at Plumley back in the 15th spot, 14th now I should say, just got past Hewitt as well. Plumley, the Caducci racing machine there, Twitch maestro of the Skip Barber cars, moving himself up to the 14th spot from 18th on the grid. Himself going forwards. Gary Tall, not really much progress today. He's back in 16th place.
Ooh, Adcock around.
Oh, he is. Yes.
Oh, what has happened here? This is coming out of the kink, I believe. He got the line into the corner, right? It's just the exit was just not quite there.
Connery, no. It was absolutely right for him. If we get a replay of this one, it was a mistake by the car of Mick Watson. Watson messes up and loses speed on the exit, forces him to go wide. Nobody slowed him down, forced him to run wide, and he lost it coming back onto the track and made contact there with Simon Edwards. Edwards may have some trouble here based on, yes, he's coming onto pit road. He has suspension damage. Simon Edwards will be out of this one really for the running at least as he brings that car down onto pit road. This of course helps the recovery drive for Benny Simonson. We've got past Anthony Cat now. 7th place now from 16th. He's our biggest climber so far. Meteoric rise from him. Bill Fraser still close to Antonitis, but hasn't managed to make it past him yet. Not a chance so far. For him, he's made a couple of mistakes, but nothing really yet. And looks like Stuart Adcock's expressing displeasure at the exit speed of Mick Watson.
Yeah, that seems to be the case there over the driver radio, but returning to the racing out there on track rather than the war of words in the chat. Fraser still locking onto the back of the leader, but is he just biding his time here, or is he just like, quite honestly, just can't find a way by? He looks towards the inside for the kink, but as we've already discussed before, that move isn't really on going down into there unless you're very, very desperate indeed. But let's see if he makes the move up to the corkscrew. No. This is a patient Bill Fraser, and I didn't think we were going to ever be able to say that. Or maybe not. He goes down the inside of the triple. Oh, that is so close there. Slides through the apex there of turn number 9 into 10 now, and I completely take back what I said.
He's trying his hardest here. Bill Fraser all over that track, slipping and sliding. Have a quick look at our weather conditions here as they're both punching here. Good run from Fraser actually coming onto the front stretch. 70 degrees. It's very cool here actually today. Late afternoon conditions, humidity and wind are both low. Track temperature is very cold here, 70 Fahrenheit in the air, 80 on the track. That is really cold. So Fraser looks to the outside again. Not going to make it happen this time though. Tries for an undercut, won't have the opportunity. Do his best to keep this car moving though, as Antonides defending very aggressively here.
He is, and then he's doing so successfully as well. Nothing Bill Fraser can really do about this, and they have quite a bit of clear air back to Jack Hobbs. They have about 2-second advantage over him, and of course that pack involves Mick Watson and Parker Williams as well. So they do kind of have the room to fight here if they so wanted. It's just Fraser, he can make it side by side briefly, but he just can't complete anything on the brakes or on the exits of the corner. He's going to go try to the inside there. I think he's just trying to spook Antonides at this stage because he knows that he's already done it once coming into that corner and spooked him, went wide. But it seems like Antonides is resilient to that now.
Certainly does, of course, and Antonides doing his best to hold on to this one here as take a little bit look further back in the line. Darrell Taylor making a move here on Peter Cowan. It's been for about 16th, 17th place here as he tried to have a look there through turn 7, but up to corkscrew they come again. Behind them, I think that's Adrian Rao. Yeah, that's Luke Ashton-Jones actually there, back behind him, blue car. As Cowan defending at the lead of this train of 3 cars, back around the 20th place here. He's going to do what he can to try and have a look for this one. Come on, Darrell, you can do this. Have a look for an option. Not going to have a chance, though. Just up ahead of them, though, Thurston, his teammate coming through the final corner. So it is Paul Rowell. I was very wrong on who that driver was in the blue machine. The number 360. So if he doesn't do a 360, that could be bad for his race, but Taylor having a look here. Thurston catching up to a group of cars. Maltby just in front of him. Both getting quite a few spots here. 28th and 23rd up to 15th and 16th place, respectively. Doing what they can to try and make up some ground on this pack. Not a huge number of cars in attrition so far today, Connery. A couple of guys a lap down. Andrew Bolton, Chris Malcolm, of course, had that incident. He's out. Chris Morris is out. Adcock is out. Ridlington, Keeble all out. We had non-starters, of course, from Killick, Cave, Dickens, Morris, and McCaffrey. So we had 50 cars start the race, and we only lost 6 so far. It's kind of a narrow racetrack with these breed incidents.
It is, so that is quite surprising, but it could go back to what I said at the start. All of these drivers will be very, very familiar with this racetrack. It's basically one of the first racetracks that you race once you get on the iRacing service. But here comes Paul Thurston. Well, he looked to make the move of Maltby there for P number 15, but decided better of it coming down through the corkscrew. Meanwhile, update on your race lead. That gap has actually extended somewhat. Fahim Antonides working on breaking that draft, and that gap is up to what is going to be 1.178 seconds across the line. So Fahim Antonides, he can just run for the hills now. I think he's faster in clear air than Bill Fraser is, especially in terms of his qualifying. So Fraser, he has to really, really pull out all the stops here if he wants this race win.
Certainly does, and it's not looking as likely for the young Scotsman as it has in the past. Antonides looking very, very strong here. Keep an eye on the rest of this field. Simonson still in 7th place, working on catching up to Ben Daniels here just ahead of him. The gap's now starting to really open up, so his opportunity to gain multiple positions here really has faded out, Connery, as we're on lap 9 here of 14 total. The gap's ahead now. The front pack is very much split apart. He's got to gain about 9 seconds to get anywhere near the guys at the very front, and that's looking less and less likely, but doing his best. Jack Hobbs back in the 3rd spot. Well, 2nd spot now, actually. He's just gotten past... No, 3rd spot, sorry. He's still ahead of Mick Watson. I got a little confused. Those two are kept quite close to your leaders. They're still within about 2 to 3 seconds at the moment, which is plenty of room should something change, but the gap is beginning to widen.
It is. It doesn't seem that they're able to catch the drivers ahead of Antonides and Fraser, so unless something happens to one of those cars, I think 3rd place is probably the best that Hobbs or Mick Watson could do at this stage. But that being said, we still have a couple of laps to go here, coming on to lap number 10 of 14 here at the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Hey, I got it right first time without having to think about it.
You did. It's going to take a little bit of adjustment, to be fair. It's always been insert car brand here, Raceway Laguna Seca, which I won't mention now because they'll probably shout at us, but as it stands, Hobbs here trying to hold off Watson. Watson getting a little closer, back in 4th place. We have a battle here for the final podium spot, whilst we have a battle for the first 2 up front. Simonson still not closing in. Cat still behind him. Lambert and Terry is running as a pair there, with Plumley has made his way up to 11th place now, running alone. Gary Tall racing there was side by side for a moment. with the car of James McRitchie, who just got past him. McRitchie moving himself up to the 12th spot. A little bit further back, Cowan in the middle of that group there. Taylor got past Cowan in the end, although all of them running off the track there onto the dirt. Quite an optional rider line as he head into turn 6 now, up the hill. Like I was saying, that's a surprisingly hard corner. Would have been very off camber there, Connery.
Yeah, it is, and it can catch a good couple of drivers out. As we're currently on board here with Peter Cowan for he's in P number 18 right now, trying to chase down Darrell Taylor as they head up towards the corkscrew. It's such a tricky braking point up here because, well, it is kind of a little bit blind. You're braking as you come over a crest as well, which can unsettle a good couple of cars that brake quite early there. But these drivers able to deal with it quite nicely. As behind Cowan, you do have Paul Rowell as well. That does look threatening at times, but not close enough to make a move just yet as he goes deep on the brakes there. As we're actually back on board now with Paul Rowell from the shoulder cam, but no opportunities for him yet, even though he tried to make one into the final corner.
He certainly had a look at that one, didn't he, Connery? Of course, they're now into the first corner again. Just double apex left. Again, kind of a very wide corner, slightly cambered, but largely flat. Inviting the cars to wash to the outside there. Taking the widest line they possibly can through and now into the 2, 3, and 4 sections of the racetrack. 5 is a bit of a kink actually on the straight coming up, so this is 4 ahead of us. And then you have this little bit of a kink, which counts as a corner, because Americans love to add slight changes of direction corner numbers.
Yep, they do, although the different track maps actually tell you different stories. For example, mine has this corner as turn number 5 rather than the kink, so maybe they should get that sorted out, those American track designs. What is actually a corner? We would all very much like to know that one. Still currently watching this battle between Rowell and Cowan, and also Darrell Taylor right ahead. And Rowell, he's just not close enough to make any move, even though he likes going deep on the brakes up into here. It's just, you know, he just has no racing room to go down the inside or even the outside.
Well, of course, teammate there of Paul Thurston, Darrell Taylor, is running behind that group at the moment, so we're going to have a twosome catching up to this pack here. Thurston got past Maltby. Good move for him there. I'll bring him up to the 15th spot. Then it's Hewitt up ahead. Those two moving quite rapidly here, gaining spots. And it's Hewitt and Tall just up ahead. Cowan, I think that's Cowan. No, that is Hewitt, actually. Car looked a little different for me for a second there, but Team Torpedo car doing its best to go forwards. That's a very original paint scheme there on the machine. He's very much embracing his Torpedo nickname. Gary Tall there in the other banana machine with James McRitchie. And that's not a nickname we're assigning to them. That team is actually called Epicure Banana, the one that has Thurston, Taylor, and Tall in it. Most original team name I've actually seen in one of these series. As he goes to the inside here, Gary Tall looking to the inside of 5/6. Makes the move there on McRitchie, nice and easy. Hewitt has a look as well. Will he dive up towards the fast left here at the top of the hill? Oh, caught a bit of the curb there. Did Gary Tall holds onto the car though, as Hewitt will make a move here on McRitchie up the inside, running towards the corkscrew. Will he have enough overlap? He won't do it in time. Big slow down there, try and get the car through the corner. Is very close there between McRitchie and Thurston. Actually, that's Tall, not Thurston. So many banana-coloured cars. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes when they're all in general close proximity. Bit of a wiggle there for Hewitt. Holds his car as well as he can. Probably the closest battle we've actually got on track at the moment here, with 2 laps to go once they cross this line. Connery, it's been a bit of a ravaging one so far.
Yeah, the large amount of what is going to be the entirety of the top 10 have spread themselves out a little bit, but we've still got this battle going on for P number 12 as McRitchie, ooh, he looked like he was going down towards the inside, but instead picks the outside, tries to do it on the brakes in towards the Mario Andretti hairpin here, and oh, McRitchie's trying to make it. He goes off the track, makes contact with Gary Tall as he re-enters the racing track there, and oh, that might be, well, Tall might not be very, very happy about that particular particular move as they run down in towards turn number 4 now. I have to say, I think McRitchie, kind of an unsafe rejoin there, but he was pushed off the circuit by Tall there, so there's two sides of the coin.
There is indeed, and I'm having a quick look back here at the lead with Antonides and Fraser, because the gap has shrunk again, and Fraser is back in this fight, chasing down the Thrustmaster Movano car of Fahim Antonides. Having a look here at the final corner, trying to find an option here, but Connery, he's getting look to the inside. No, didn't quite have the room actually to go to the inside there.
Yeah, but this is going to be white flag this time by, so one more lap for Bill Fraser to be able to make his way past and take this race win. Outside line taken, an early defensive inside line taken by Fahim Antonides. Is he going to look for the switchback here? Is Fraser? Nope, he's just going to tuck in behind now. Hugging that inside line is typically what you do coming through those first two apexes there, so nothing that Bill Fraser could really do about this. Fahim Antonides gets a little bit squirrely coming through the middle of the corner. Fraser right on the back of him, ready to pounce from any mistake that he makes, and perhaps if he gets a good drive off of here, he could make it down the inside or the outside coming in towards turn number 5. Let's see what happens here. Side by side battle, late breakers they will have to be. Side by side for the race lead. Antonides is still holding on.
It certainly is. This is getting really exciting, folks. Final lap here for the win of round number 5 of Monday Night Skippys, and Antonides closes the door on him again. Fraser tried to look there, and Antonides closes the door with a slam. And up they come to the corkscrew now. One final time through here. Lap traffic won't be an issue for them. Nice and methodical through the corkscrew. Don't make a mistake, either of you. You want to get this one right. Took it back over to the right-hand side. Back through now, climbing down the hill. This long double apex left, descending. And it will have to be a last corner attempt if Bill Fraser has any options. He's lost the momentum he wanted there. He's going to have to dive this in. Channel his inner yeah, he's not going to try it. He's not going to have room or time. No, unfortunately. If he meant to die there, it's not unfortunately. Fortunately for Fahim, he will come across the line here under the bridge, which still says Mazda Raceway. It's not, it's WeatherTech Raceway, and will take the win there. Nicely done by Fahim. Behind them, Jack Hobbs will come home in 3rd with Mick Watson 4th. Clark Williams holds on for 5th place. We'll keep a look back towards where Gary Tull was running. Not a problem for him.
He's side by side.
He is. Gary Tull is side by side there with Hewitt. In fact, wow, they've actually got a Thurston in there. Can they all make it through? It's a huge choke up here as Thurston comes through behind teammate Tall. And it's a banana 1-2 in this pack down here for, I believe this is 12th and 13th place. It is indeed. And they had a teammate behind them as well. So 3 bananas within about 4 cars of each other. That's a bunch.
Yeah, there's a bunch there as the rest of the runners come across the line. We've got number 51 and 67 very close coming through the final corner. They have a stranded car ahead there that's trying to creep its way across the line. Kellerman forced towards the inside retaining pit wall there. But that is just going to be the situation there as Barry West comes out on top of that particular battle, and pretty much everyone has now headed their way across the line except for a little bit of altercation back in the final corner there. That was a 32 of Chris Saunders and a lapped car of David Monteiro there, as finally Reese will head his way across the line with what looks to be more of a crab than a car.
Before we go much further, I want to look back to the final lap, and let's go to just after they climb up the hill here, because this was the battle, of course, with Tall, with Thurston, with McRitchie and Hewitt. Let's go to the kink, turn number 6, 7, as they climb up the hill towards Corkscrew. Let's try and get a replay up of this one, because this is where things got interesting, and this is why McRitchie wasn't with them. They're going to climb up the hill now towards the Corkscrew, and it goes 2 wide with Thurston and with Hewitt. McRitchie nearly 3 wide there. Hewitt up the outside hard. It's 2 wide. Hewitt dives in and rams the back of McRitchie there. Turns him around, which gives contact to Maltby and a couple of others, and he gets hit by Cowan actually. Destroys the front end of McRitchie's car and leaves him very much wounded. You'll see that now. Look at the replay there. Absolute choke point into there, and it just taps the back end of him, turns him round.
Yeah, that's just what happens when you have a close battle pack coming up onto the brakes, into the corkscrew, and then we follow things through to the final corner. We almost went 3 wide into that final corner there, but as we actually, this is back towards the corkscrew now, so we will see this instant once again. You see all of the bunching up. Leader of the pack gets tagged and turned around. A little bit of damage to the cars behind as well. That's just hard racing, really.
Certainly is, of course. And now to our results. Coming home with a win for Human Ides with Bill Fraser in second, Jack Hobbs, Mick Watson, Clark Williams in fifth, Ben Daniels, Benny Simonson managed to recover to 7th, Anthony Catt, George Lambert, Adam Terry, Plumley from 18th to 11th, Tall in 12th, Thurston, Hewitt, Maltby in 15th place with Darrell Taylor, Peter Cowan, Paul Rowell, and we've got Simon Edwards back there in the 19th spot with Aidan Brow in 20th. Rest of those results up on your screen for you, and we've got our race winner with us now, because it's very rare we actually get the race winner come to talk to us unless it's Benny or it's Fahim, but we have Fahim. Thrustmaster Movano has been very good to you, Fahim. That was a masterful race today, and I believe you had a spotter on your stand.
No, I didn't have a split tonight, but they have been, Thrustmaster Movano have been a positive influence in the sense that the pressure's on. It's not just me, piddling around the track. I've got a, I'm wearing someone's decals now, so I've got to make sure that I do a proper job. So yeah, they have been a positive influence. I have to say, I think my race game has picked up a bit since joining them.
You appear to have gained some of that Italian aggression we see on track normally in the endurance series races or in the Formula One. You appear to have picked up the Movano, shall we call it, flair.
I hope so. As far as you've got to be aggressive if you're racing against Bill, because he's young, he's fast, and with somebody like that, you can't play the long game. These are sprint races. When you're racing against Bill, every lap is a qualifying lap, and that's how you had to run it. But he's a great competitor. I only just pipped him on pole. My second lap took everything out of me. I didn't have anything spare for my third lap, which is why I petered out. And I guess the same thing happened to him, because he did I didn't think he scored a lap time on his third lap. So I think all our efforts went straight into the qualifying.
Certainly did. Well, congratulations, Fahim. Fantastic win today in round number 5.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Thank you for joining us, Fahim. Well, next up, we're going to bring them all in as a threesome, because these guys really come as a set. We called them the Banana Bunch earlier. We're, of course, missing Darrell Taylor, but we'll go to you first, Gary Tall, because you were the highest of the bananas, but P12, a rather busy race for all of you.
Yeah, it was quite busy. I picked up a bit of damage on the first lap, and my wheel was at 45 degrees, so I had a car that had turned left but not right. So quite difficult. I mean, the only reason I was able to keep in it was because the fast uphill corner is a left-hander. I think if it had been the other way, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Certainly quite the dogfight you were all in today. It was having Ryan Hewitt around you, Ryan the Torpedo Hewitt, challenging to race with, or do you enjoy racing him?
I don't think I've raced Ryan before. He was fine. James and I made contact a couple of times. He's apologised. The first one was what damaged the steering. So yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's got to be fun. So I used to get a bit wound up by some of this stuff, but I try not to now.
What a very sage attitude towards things. Congratulations on P12 today, Gary.
Cheers.
Connery's here with Barry West.
Yes, I am. And, Barry, that end of the race, that was a close run thing between yourself and Charles Calliman there. Just take us through that one. That was a bit aggressive against the pit wall there.
I don't know. Did I force him into the wall?
No, you didn't. But you give him a little bit of a squeeze.
Right. He's trying to talk to me in chat now, so I'll talk to him later. But yeah, if I did, I apologise. Yeah, we had a great race. He had some damage, and when I clear out, I could pull away. But and then I caught up with Alan Patterson, and we had a great little ding dong. And I didn't want to risk too much, so I had to stay behind him and make sure that I could take him when it was safe to do so. But of course, it was bunched up the three of us. But it was a good race. I mean, I must admit, early on with Reese, we were having a good little ding dong, and then I had to drive off track to miss some mayhem. I think it was the last turn. Yeah, it's an interesting race. I mean, I think I started 51st or something because qualifying I messed up completely. On the last qualifying lap, I said to myself, clean, doesn't matter, not fast, just keep it clean. And it was clean all the way around. It was going to be a mid 36, and then last corner I cut and got an invalid lap. So yes, I was a bit annoyed about that. So I consequently had to start from the back. Yeah, it made for a good race. I mean, it's good fun. Yeah, not too bad at all. I was pleased with that. It's most enjoyable Monday evening.
Yeah, can't really complain when you go from P47 to P number 28. That is quite a few positions gained there. And
points.
where were most of those made up? Were most of those made up on the first lap, first couple of laps, or was it just a constant stream of overtakes?
First lap was 10 places, I believe. I looked down and thought, wow, that's probably most people coming off. There's only a few overtakes. Yeah, I think it was just the close ones. I think I overtook Reese once, then he got me back when I had to lift for some incident. And then me and James got past each other a few times, and then Alan. So yeah, that was an interesting race, but it was the same group, it wasn't. And then it was just the other places just enough, I think. But yeah, it was very, very enjoyable. I've walked around this track in real life, and it is a lovely track.
Yeah, I haven't been, but I am actually going to go to perhaps Donington and then maybe the Nürburgring in September. So I will actually go to racetracks, which is
nice.
An amazing thing. But speaking of the Nürburgring, that is what's next. The Nordschleife. 3 laps of the Nordschleife. How's that going to be for you?
I don't know if I've ever done it in the Skippy. I've done it in the Lotus 79, but not Skippy. That's going to be fun. I expect the track will be a lot wider in the Skippy than it is in the Lotus.
Yeah, exactly, and it's also a difficult one for us broadcasters as well because the iRacing timing doesn't update until they go across the line, which is quite a while if you're in a skip arbor at Nordschleife. Thankfully, we have wonderful timing apps that we could use. But yeah, that's going to be a very, very interesting one, Rachel, at the Nordschleife. But that was Barry West, sorry. Excuse me.
Mixing the bananas. You should never mix your bananas.
That's unfortunate. But Barry West, incredible positions gained, and looking forward to the Nürburgring. Or maybe
we'll split from talking to one banana and go to the next one. Paul Thurston, last but not least in the bunch. You had a bit of a climb today. You had to start back in 23rd. You finished in 13th. That's 10 spots gained. Quite a busy race.
Yeah, qualifying was a bit poor. I like Baz and Gary, I screwed up one of my qualifying laps, which doesn't really help. And got into it at Laguna. I mean, you're in a bun fight basically in the middle of the field here, because the early laps there's a lot of people pushing and shoving. I got round that okay. Managed to defend me places a bit, and then as people started to go off, I managed to avoid them. One of them was interesting. I came out of the corkscrew and then round the next left-hander and down the run down to the penultimate corner. Someone, an orange car, I can't remember who it was, they stacked it and then just span straight across the track just behind me. I actually got a 4 times contact thing out of it, but it didn't seem to knock my car at all, so it was a bit of a phantom contact. But that took out Paul, who was chasing me at the time, which was quite Paul Rao, because that was quite useful, because he was getting quite difficult. Then Simon, I was behind Simon, and I was all over him, but we were dropping back from the group slightly, and so he let me pass to see if I could catch him. And unusually for me, I did. Because they were battling with Gary. The 3 of them were battling away. I managed to catch them. Simon followed me along. Then I dived up and managed to get Ryan into the corkscrew. I actually overtook someone into the corkscrew. I hope you got that. This is not usual. Managed to actually hold him off and gain the place. And then last lap, it just went ballistic in our little group. James was up down. James lost it out of the corkscrew. Just managed to miss him. Ryan, I'm not sure how Ryan got behind me again, but it was good fun. It was one of those very intense races. You get those at the at Laguna. It's not a track that I like driving much in the Skippy, but I like racing here.
Certainly do, of course. And, well, a great race for you today, of course, coming home today in 13th. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after we are done here, which will be, funnily enough, now, we're heading off to Nürburgring next week, so you can join us, of course, same time next week at the Nürburgring for Monday Night Skippy's round number 6, where we have the Green Hell in a whole different flavour. I've been Rachel Wyford, I've been joined by Connery Maddock, and of course, Hugo, the Master Luis on the cameras. Don't forget Esteban Ballo's Track Pack Cam for Gourmets, and Calm, the Campaign Against Living Miserably. This has been RaceSpotTV, and my phone is blowing up. You can probably hear that. Have a good night.